Hi everyone, my name is Esteban Lopez and I'm going to talk to you about how I got here and where I'm going. It all starts in McAllen, Texas, which is about 15 minutes away from the Mexican border at the southern tip of Texas. After I finished high school, I moved to Austin, Texas, where I earned a BA in English Literature from the University of Texas at Austin in 2001. When I graduated, I knew that I wanted to travel overseas and I wanted to see the world, but of course, I was completely broke. So I asked my professor for some advice, and he mentioned that I could probably teach ESL overseas and get paid to fly, and I get the airfare paid, and that I could probably also get lodging paid. So I looked into it, and I come to find out that in Seoul, Korea, they actually did have contracts where you could basically sign up for a year and teach, and they would pay for your airfare to and from Korea. And so that's where I went next. Soon after I graduated from UT Austin, I flew over to Seoul, Korea, where I lived for 2 years teaching ESL. And after I finished there, I moved to Tokyo, Japan, where I lived and taught ESL for 8 years. What's important about Tokyo, Japan is that this is where I was sort of first exposed to media. I had a co-worker who was a director and had graduated from Boston University, I'm not sure which one. But he knew that I was an English Lit major and he was interested in working together with me, so he'd often ask me to write up a script, which I knew nothing about, so I didn't know anything about screenplays or screenplay format. So I gave it a shot, and he'd always give me back my notes because they weren't in script format or in screenplay format, and I had no idea what he was talking about. So eventually I bought a book, and I read about how to format a screenplay and what actually has to happen in a screenplay. It was the book was called Sid Field's Screenplay Book. So that really sort of led to my love of media, and and it was also let me know that I could do media, that I could actually write media. So after about a year, I wrote a 10-minute short comedy that I actually shot in Tokyo, Japan. I did it all for free with no budget. I employed all of my co-workers, and and I showed it at a really small film festival in Tokyo in front of, like, I would say a group of 30 people, and they really enjoyed it and they laughed. And after the screening, I sat on the panel and I answered some questions, and that's really when I knew that film and media was something that I was interested in, that I wanted to do. So fast forward to now, I've been back in Austin, Texas for about 4 years. I came back in 2010, and since then I'm still doing the same thing. I still teach ESL at the Austin Community College, where I'm also a writing tutor, and I work at another place called IACT, which is the Interfaith Action of Central Texas, where I teach ESL to newly arrived immigrants. So these are my day jobs, but on my downtime, I act as a freelance photographer, producer, writer, director of films. I've done several music videos since I've been back in Austin, Texas, and I've also written screenplays and whatnot. I mentioned in the other post that did a 10-minute or 11-minute short film on immigration reform that I wrote and directed and co-produced, and I was also the assistant editor, so you could probably find that information on that other link. Also, my time in Austin, when I was trying to create a Hispanic film or a Latino film, I had so much trouble finding Latino actors, surprisingly, here in Austin, Texas. But there was no database of specifically dedicated to Latino actors. And so I saw a lot of need for all of these types of things. So I founded the Austin Latino Film Association, which I launched just this past May 5th, and to a lot of a lot of people have been receptive to what we've been doing so far. We've only had one meeting, but we're already setting up a second meeting as a fundraiser to kind of continue going forward with this. So that's me in a nutshell. Thank you.